At the top of a decaying industrial structure, a lone figure snaps their fingers into the air, dry, sharp cracks as if trying to break the silence of the sky. Their legs dangle from the edge of the building as they stare at the horizon with disdain. A voice filtered through a communication channel echoes with irony. "Miracle you called me," in Jin, surrounded by corroded ducts and remnants of an old urban ventilation system, she hears. "What is it?" Suspicion creeps in. "Did you find a source?" The reply is direct, metallic. "Yeah, I came across it by chance in the bio-industrial containment sector. But there's more to it. Cut to a colossal dome, worn down by time, rising in the middle of a silent forest. Weathered walls, grotesque inscriptions, pictorial creatures, and faded symbols, the remnants of a place society chose to forget. Integrated summary: Rudo, the son of a condemned citizen, was taken in by Lecto and raised on the fringes of the system. Until one day, falsely accused of a fatal collapse, he's thrown into a vortex known as the Abyss, a visceral symbol of structural inequality. Awakening underground, a rejected ecosystem nicknamed the Pit, he discovers, within Jin, that his former home was called Paradise. Hunted by pit dwellers who despise the Paradisians, Rudo survives thanks to a jinky left behind by Lecto, a piece of symbiotic tech that activates something new within his body. Rudo's eyes fly open, taking in more than light, hazy memories, chemical disorientation, fragments of the fall. In Jin's voice echoes, lightly fascinated. This kid has a unique ability. A bald figure appears, cold expression, metallic face adornments, and a clinical gaze. His power is rare. That's how I got him into the cleaners. Rudo lies on a stretcher, wrapped in bioabsorbent bandages. The doctor works with advanced rehab tools as Jin watches silently. The specialist says, "I'll introduce him to you soon enough." "Cool," Rudo stirs. "Hey, no one said I agreed to this." Unfazed, Jin replies, "Do you have a choice?" "I need to get back to the surface." The biomedical elder snaps, "You're lucky to be alive, kid." Rudo pulls back. "Whoa, what's your deal, old man? You wandered into a contaminated sector. A bit more exposure and your lungs would have shut down, and then you got detained to ... That's beyond unlucky by any operational standards. A doctor, eccentric with vibrant eyes and a custom lab coat, explodes. You should be thanking the guy from the cleaners." Rudo looks in shock, then recognizes him. "That guy." Jin responds with a lazy wave and crooked smile. "Go ahead, thank me, kid," the doctor yells. "And by the way, I'm a seasoned lady, thank you very much. Treatment's over. Clear your credits and get out of the core zone." Rudo mutters, "Thanks ... for the help." He looks away, thoughtful. As he walks alongside Jin, he grumbles, "I don't have time for cleaner games ... but adds, I just want information." Now leading the way, Jin casually comments, "That little kidnapping gave you a taste of how Paradisians are treated down here. Ask around all you want. But eventually, they'll figure you out, and when that happens..." He stops, turns the handle of a rusted door, ... there's single quotes s no going back. Opening the door, he finished with a sideways glance. "Down here, nothing's handed to you, so shut up and follow me." A chaotic building, dressed in faded neon and tattered posters, houses a restaurant. The underground city pulses with conversation, smells, and improvised urban life. A crow watches from a post, still aware. Rudo and Jin move through signs and murals. Graffiti of masks, fractured expressions, and cryptic codes form a collage of resistance. Rudo devours a burger with metabolic fury. After that synthetic slop it's no surprise you're starving. Through alleyways of patchwork architecture and surprising order, Rudo thinks, the Pit isn't just trash, there's a logic here. An economy built on rejection. He catches his reflection in a shattered window. Dirty but alive, Jin asks, "What's your name?" ... Are you D.O.? Cool name. Already seated at a simple table, Jin grins and says, "Alright." Pit 101, first lesson, Rudo swallows hard, but meets the moment, I'm ready. On the table rests a glass of water. From a spoon, a symbiotic mass of residual memory slowly drips, fusing with the liquid like thought dissolving into awareness. With a calm, almost clinical tone, Jin begins. Here in the pit, along with physical waste, mental residue also piles up. Known as thoughts, the dark substance bubbles, swirling in silent vortices. In Rudo's imagination, these decayed emotions spread through the streets like dense, unstable fog. Over time, this psychic density turned into latent energy, and that energy triggered all kinds of phenomena. The scene shifts. Before a cracked screen, a grotesque creature rises, made of emotional junk and discarded residue. Its body pulses with the same erratic energy. These phenomena gave rise to what we call pseudo-creatures, and Jin continues like a field instructor. Whenever they detect a human presence they go into instinctive aggression. They usually stay in outlying zones, but sometimes they cross into regenerated sectors. Back in the room, Rudo listens intently. Wouldn't it be better to reinforce the barriers? Jin's gaze locks, like someone who's faced that dilemma 1,000 times. Humans weren't made to live in cages. Rudo absorbs the logic. Thinks. Makes sense. Jin leans back, releasing a wisp of smoke into the recycled air. I've thought about it, but regular tools can't affect the semantic core of these creatures. They're made of thought. With a near philosophical air, Jin reveals, but with this glove, it's possible. Rudo looks at his hands. The gloves, worn and silent, rest on the table like relics. He traces the seams with his fingers, feeling the texture of memory. With this, Jin speaks with symbolic ease. It's like a knife a chef's used for years, or a pen that stayed with a writer until the end. He holds a folded umbrella. His fingers glide over the blade, a reverent gesture. When an object is used for a long time, with dedication and genuine care, it absorbs fragments of its wielder, and Jin's gaze sharpens. That's what we call a jinky. Rudo stares at the glass, the dark substance still dancing inside. A memory of Legto stirs, a silent echo in his chest. So what Legto used to say was true. Double quotes. Jin continues with scientific firmness. Pseudo creatures made of thought can only be destroyed by weapons that carry real thoughts. Very few can draw out the true power of a jinky. Rudo lifts his head, the question burning inside. So I'm one of those few. Correct. Jin answers plainly. You and I are ability users, cleaners. A black symbol subtly vibrates in the back of the room, as if reacting to the words. Jin rises, his presence becomes gravitational. That's why cleaners are essential. We exist to neutralize pseudo-creatures. Rudo hesitates. So that's why you want me in. If I join, will you show me the way back? Jin lets out a sigh, arms crossed. About that. Double quotes. Another slow puff. Eyes on the ceiling. To be honest, I have no idea. Rudo freezes. What? Weren't you pretending to know? I never said I knew, did I? Jin shrugs with the indifference of someone who's seen the world fall apart. Another cloud of smoke rises to the metallic ceiling. But my superior's an informant. Maybe he knows. Rudo covers his face with one hand, lets out a sigh that seems to last longer than his thoughts. So nothing starts until I find this guy. He slumps over the table, sinking into his own mind. But Jin, without ceremony, throws out the question, those gloves, who gave them to you? Rudo slowly lifts himself. His eyes fall on the worn leather. His fingers gently touch it. My biological father. The words barely come out. He continues, it was all that was left of him, the only thing that ever made me feel like I mattered to someone. Jin watches in silence. Even the smoke now seems respectful. I get it. The gloves, aged by time, carry more than just leather. They carry a bond. Jin comments, without irony, at first glance they look worn out. But it's clear you've taken good care of them. Jin's words hang in the air, along with the smoke slowly fading into the concrete ceiling. Rudo stares at the glove, an object that now pulses with symbolic weight. Some people can't even preserve that. The essence of what truly matters. Face to face, Injin maintains his mysterious aura. Rudo, small in frame, but eyes burning, it's a good glove. Filled with soul and emotional memory, and he concludes, seriously, keep it. Always, Rudo gulps. In his eyes, a spark flickers, a mocking past echoing from a distant time. Look at him with that old glove. Doesn't even fit right. Has he ever washed that thing? He closes his eyes. But this time, there's no shame, only the true weight of something that survived rejection. The door creaks slowly, Injin gets up, adjusting his coat with casual ease. That's the basics on the pit. All yours now. He starts walking out, but Rudo stops him. Injin, the man pauses, a faint smile. Rudo takes a deep breath. Took me a while to realize. But you actually helped me. For real, Injin already knows what's coming. When I figure out how to get back to paradise, I'll help you guys, the cleaners. Without saying much, Injin tosses a small cloth pouch onto the table. Inside, circular tokens, his first tangible support. Here's your startup fund. Use it wisely. Rudo's eyes widen. Even money. You're really going this far? Injin smirks. No big deal. And with the same calm tone, he drops the bomb. I used what I got from selling your clothes. The impact lands, silent but devastating. Rudo stares at the coins in his hands. He almost smiles. But Injin follows up with that unbearably smooth cynicism. Oh, and I already deducted the treatment and meals, alright? Relax, you're debt-free now. Rudo blinks. It hits him. His fists tighten. His voice bursts out like an emotional earthquake. You. I swear I'm gonna take you down. Injin keeps walking, calm as ever. His pace alone rattles every one of Rudo's nerves. Wouldn't have been able to wear surface clothes down here anyway. Took you long enough to figure that out. Rudo screams, but it's voiceless, pure revolt. You always find a way to screw me over. He jumps from the chair, the tension snaps. Injin waves, not even turning around, heading out to meet your instructor. You stay put. Rudo's left alone. Fury bubbling, his fingers squeeze the coins. As soon as I find the way out, I'm leaving you here, but then ... something moves. The same cat with a mischievous glint in its eyes. Held in its teeth, the coin pouch. ... huh? The feline bolts like a tiny agent of chaos. Pouch swinging, tail twirling, paws dancing. My money, and the clink of coins echoes. Like metallic laughter in the air, the cat's voice rings out, chewing on irony, money. Rudo charges down a narrow alley, every step driven by mounting frustration. Come back here, you cursed sea, infamous feline. The cat leaps over boxes, pipes, makeshift circuits. Rudo grabs a stick leaning against the wall without thinking. Wait, he runs, stick in hand, determined. But something watches, a silhouette, a strange presence. Panting, Rudo drives the stick into the ground to block the cat's path. You're way too much trouble for something so sneaky. The cat lets out a sharp meow. The alley tightens with tension. Then a voice, cold, surgical, hey, that ... belongs to me. A young man approaches, eyes like ice, voice dripping with contempt. Give it back, you incompetent brat. Rudo stares at the stranger, still holding the pouch. Are you confused? This money's mine. The other doesn't even blink. I'm not talking about the money, I mean the stick. Rudo looks down at the object. ... this thing. He lifts it. It's just a random piece of wood ... but he was wrong. Before Rudo can finish the sentence, the boy grabs the stick firmly. Rudo backs off. Who is this guy? The stranger touches the weapon with reverence. His fingers glide across it like he's reading a memory. He closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, and Rudo notices something. On the boy's chest ... the symbol, the same one Injin wears. A jolt, he's a cleaner. The answer comes in the form of posture. The boy emits a subtle glow, the stick vibrates. You think you can just grab someone's jinky like it's trash. Rudo swallows hard, the air thickens. The young man raises the weapon and declares, "We just met. And I'm already gonna have to reprogram you." The stick pulses. His eyes pierce through. "You're about to experience the power of my partner." In a blink, barely perceptible, a figure steps out from the shadows. A cleaner, cloaked in dried rags, and a regular mask, and dull eyes detached from any emotional circuit. His arm extends with surgical kinetic force, tearing through the air like a mechanical function being executed. Rudo barely has time to think, let alone react. The air vibrates from the residual pressure of the strike. But instead of a threat, comes a lesson. If you hold on to something valuable that belongs to someone else, ... double quotes behind them, an entire building collapses with mechanical violence reduced to particles and dust. Rudo, now engulfed in the haze of rubble, tries to grasp the scale of the destruction. Then you'd better be ready to face the consequences, right? Those words didn't come from justice, but from impersonal logic, almost algorithmic. A penalty without anger, without rage. Rudo crashes into the wreckage, stunned. But it's not the physical impact that paralyzes him. It's the muffled voice slicing through the dust like an emotionless blade. Rudo-kun. The special resource. His heart skips. He knows my name. He thinks as if someone had hacked into his mind. The figure continues. Injin gave me a summary. Now it's confirmed. This man is with the cleaners, and he's not here by chance. Zanka Nijik. The name lands with the stiffness of protocol. I'm part of the Akuta cleaners, and without room for misinterpretation, Injin assigned me to be your instructor. There's no invitation to debate. But even Zanka didn't expect to start with something this basic. If you cross into someone else's domain of ownership, you'll have to answer for it proportionally. It sounds like an old proverb. But here, every syllable is loaded with moral weight. Rudo tries to explain, his voice stumbling over anxiety. It's not like that. I only held onto that stick to get my money back from that thieving cat. Zanka, however, isn't there to collect excuses. He's there to enforce a learning protocol. Tell your parents they forgot to teach you that. The verdict lands like an invisible sentence. Rudo freezes. Rudo, his name echoes in his head, anchoring him. But the thoughts hit like a flood, and now he's talking about Legto. Like he has some emotional authority over this. Rudo's eyes narrow. On the outside, he's on the ground. But inside, he begins to rise. In the middle of all that mounting tension, something gentle seeps through. Legto's voice, a soft echo if you want to be heard. Listen first. Rudo remembers those moments when he broke down, cried, and Legto stayed. Silent, but present. Cool your head. Look from the other side. That memory triggers something inside Rudo, a real emotional shift. He lifts his gaze, different now. Legto didn't mold him with pressure. He shaped him through empathy. Rudo lowers his head, and everything clicks into place. This guy reacted ... because he thought I touched something important. If someone grabbed my glove, I'd have lost it too, and in a flash it all makes sense. I caused the misunderstanding. Rudo speaks softly, but with conviction. I didn't mean to take anything from you. I didn't know that was something important. Sorry, this time, it's not self-defense, it's understanding. Zanka lowers his weapon. He says nothing. But the silence carries weight like a reactor powering down in slow motion. I see. So there wasn't any actual theft after all. Pride gives way to reason. Rudo watches, stunned, vulnerable. Zanka admits, this object is the oldest emotional symbol I have. That's why I reacted the way I did. And then, something rare happens. Sorry ... me too. Rudo feels the impact. But it's not a threat, it's acceptance. That's the first time anyone's ever said that to me. Legto was right. His heart races as if recognizing new territory. Zanka smiles and extends a hand. You're gonna join the cleaners, right? There was a misunderstanding. But now I trust you. Rudo, unsure of what to say, nods. You got it. A connection is forged amid scraps and suspicion. A bridge begins to form. Zanka leans in, curious. So, what's your jinky? Got any special abilities? Rudo grips his glove. I steady, I think. It's this glove. Zanka lights up like a kid uncovering treasure. That glove is awesome. So that's the... And for the first time, the pit becomes a place of exchange, not just confrontation. This guy ... he feels like a completely different person now. Rudo thinks, is it the smile? He ... he's actually smiling ... double quotes Zanka, now more relaxed, speaks casually, my jinky is the stick. Some people think it's just a piece of wood, but it's my most treasured symbol. The words hit Rudo like an emotional micro-detonation. He remembers, Legto always told me I needed to crack that serious face of mine. I wonder, could I smile too? Zanka continues, unaware of the internal tsunami he stirred up. So, why'd you want to join the cleaners, Rudo? Rudo's fist tightens, blood surges, I trained so hard back in paradise. Now I'm gonna prove my worth. This is it, his eyes widen, chest rises. And then he lets out a smile, but it's not charming. It's a full-on facial explosion of nervous performance. Actually ... I'm not really in, I'm just helping. Until I reach my goal, blunt, direct, overflowing with poorly calibrated impulse. Zanka watches him, falls silent, and then... a smile, soft, almost ... resigned. 2 seconds of silence, then an explosion of sound. What is that facial expression? Are you messing with me, you unstable maniac? Rudo's eyes go wide, completely lost. What are you talking about? Tension gives way to chaos. Zanka rages. Rudo's face loses all coordination. Crap, did I do something wrong? Were my eyes to open? Did I show too many teeth? That was my most functional smile ever. He flails, trying to reset his face. Seriously. What was so offensive? But Zanka isn't after analysis. He wants ... aesthetic survival. Don't call that a smile. That was a neurofacial incident. Rudo tries again, no exaggeration this time. He slightly lifts the corners of his mouth. There, a smile, post-apocalyptic edition. Zanka stares at it like a glitch in the fabric of reality. You've completely lost IT, haven't you? Zanka shatters the emotional balance with a verbal explosion. You trying to act all superior just cause I let my guard down? You think you can talk down to me, you arrogant leech. Rudo fires back, inflamed. Oh, give me a break. I'm being polite. I gave you a smile and you throw hostility in my face. But then Zanka strikes with a verbal blade. You think you're hot stuff just cause Injin called you a special resource? Well, we're out risking everything against pseudo creatures. You come in saying you'll help out until you get what you want. His teeth clench, his voice drips with indignation. With that pathetic expression of yours. Your goal must be the most pitiful thing I've ever heard, silence. Rudo freezes, but then that voice returns, calm, full of faith. Please. Be the one to change this shitty world. Legto echoes within him, awakening a lost spark. Rudo breathes deep, his eyes sharpen like blades. Did you just call my goal pathetic? The stones beneath him vibrate, the air shifts. Black sparks or rather unstable neuroenergy begin to orbit his body. He rises, now whole. I'm taking this seriously too. I'm doing this with sincerity. Each word pulses like the heartbeat of a primal vow. Rudo doesn't respond. He declares who he is. And the universe listens. Zanka roars, unstable maniac. He lunges forward, staff gripped tight like an emotional amplifier. The rod vibrates, circular patterns of dark neuroenergy form around him. The air thickens tactical. Zanka raises his arm slowly, not from hesitation, but because rage demands precision. I suspected it, he says, voice cold as steel. From the moment I crossed paths with you, I felt we came from opposite systems. The symbiotic aura around him expands alive. But Rudo changes too. Something glimmers on the ground, insignificant, forgotten. He picks it up, reshapes it, reclaims it. The object molds not through technique, but pure emotional convergence. A new weapon is born. Not forged, manifested, energy pulses around it. Orbiting Rudo's hand with symbiotic loyalty, Zanka steps back. Wait, wasn't your jinky that glove? Rudo's gaze stays firm. The improvised object in his hand pulses with identity. Zanka feels it and understands, no, the item vibrates with Rudo's soul. The shadows cling to him, bound to his intent. Your ability is to transform any material into a jinky. Silence, thick, sacred. This isn't just a fight. It's the birth of something greater, of a bond, of a new archetype. And the universe, once again, takes note. Thanks for watching until the end, and see you in the next video.